Okay, alright, handful of things. Alright, so keep in mind that, like, let's say right here, whatever, the basic jump game against, if you, like, select JP, you'll realize how obnoxious the jump game is for him. So he can't just anti-air with this, because if you do a shallow dive kick like that, so, okay, my current options are jump heavy kick from downtown, jump dive kick, EX dive kick, and then shallow dive kick. For which you can obviously get a heavier punish than that. I just recorded that as a default option. So then, if you turn them all on, the dive kicks are going to be hard to anti-air on response. If you're trying to anti the normal one, the shallow dive kick will blow up. You can do a faster EX dive kick than that to reach it. I'm just doing it for spacing. And then the, like, empty jump from at a range where this will whiff off of a forward jump, or the shallow dive kick will both blow it up. Now in a closer range, so if you're like in the corner or something, let's say here, right? Then we have, still too close. There. Is that fine? A little bit too shallow. There we go. So the default answer to this is either going to be, so he's going to have a hard time anti-airing this, especially because I don't think this anti-air, like, will help against other jumping options, and the action happens so fast in the close range. So he's going to do perfect parry, in a back throw, or he's going to do air throw, both of which lose to this early jump heavy punch. So that, he'll whiff parry, and then you can throw him, or if you do air throw, if I turn them both on, air throw loses as well. So air throw beats the dive kick, loses to the early jump heavy punch. So those are the two ways he's probably spotting the anti-air in the corner, and that's where the early jump heavy punch comes into play. But again, in this mid-range like this normal mid-screen area, one thing is that forward heavy kick will beat the shallow dive kick, but it's such a slow anti-air that he's not going to do it if he's worried about regular jump-ins or regular dive kicks, because they'll just counter-hit him to death. So he's going to anti-air with, he may try a jump back air-to-air or something. Now here's the thing, Cammy, if she dive kicks where you're at, it depends on if the dive kick gets clipped or not, but if it doesn't, then Cammy can just anti-air on that back jump, and that's been a staple of Cammy's game plan for generations. Dive kick, the opponent jumps backwards, and then she DPs the back jump. So that's going to be unreliable, and that's why he doesn't really do that much. But here's the thing, in this matchup, and that's why he covers normal jumps with just, like, stand jab. He does, like, stand jab on landing. He just hangs out a lot of the time, doesn't try to anti-air, and then just covers that with a stand jab, which, again, if I add another option here from a little bit closer range, let's do this from a little bit closer range. Let's say quick dive kick, EX dive kick, shallow dive kick. That's a little bit close to do a shallow dive kick, but and then, I won't get rid of that one, but let's say that. And then we have all this shit, right? So let's say you wait for the dive kicks. Now here's the thing. Kemi's dive kick, I keep hitting the wrong button. Kemi's dive kick is reactably perfect parryable. So that's what he's doing a lot of the time, is he's waiting for regular jumps and then trying to react and perfect parry these dive kicks. I keep getting medium kicked with my fat ass thumbs. He's trying to react to the startup of dive kick and then just... Which is another way that shallow dive kick will blow that up, because he'll react to the animation of dive kick, attempt to perfect parry, and then you can either walk up and throw him or just put him into some block stun. So that's another benefit of shallow dive kick, especially because he doesn't do this a lot because it's unreliable. So again, but let's again do the thing where he does the... He covers this with stand jab, right? So here's the thing. If you do a... Let's turn this off. If you do a late jump in, like that, or... I think I mistimed the landing stand jab. I'm mistiming it a little bit, because it should come out 2 frames after. God damn it. I think that's as good as it gets. It should... God damn it. Versus the latest jump in you can possibly do. So let's say that. There. There's no way that he can layer in a stand jab to beat both of these things. If you do the latest jump heavy punch possible, or an immediate landing, he should lose. So that's like the you know, a lot of to do with the air approach. But then we come to... But the air approach also matters at longer ranges where he's doing his zoning thing and he's zoning with spikes and whatever. He's going to try to anti-air with either, one, if he puts like a portal light here, he's going to try to anti-air with this, or he's going to try to anti-air with that. He could do this. He has a variety of things, but, like, he will anti-air using different tools, and this also generates the capacity to attack him with different tools. So for instance, let's say we're here, and she does that versus that, right? Then, you can mix up on his air approach. You are forcing a situation where he kind of basically has to guess on that air approach, where he has to cover his portals or he'll lose the zoning capacity. So, he's going to try to anti-air, and if you just do a late dive kick like that, you should blow up any of his anti-air options. So, yeah, you have like the mid-range regular footsies jump-ins, then you have the long-range beating his long-range zoning jump game, and then you have like the close-range jump game with the early jump heavy punch and stuff. So 3 different jump game scenarios for which there's a variety of options. So then let's talk about some of his like zony tools, right? So let's be like out here, whatever. The first one is, what did I record for the first one? Oh, right. This is a demonstration of your capacity to jump over these at full screen. So you're generally covered by the jump landing frames from this. He can potentially do the faster EX ones, which are 2 frames faster. It just depends on your jump speed. And again, if you even jump early, and let's say you jump in response to this, whether or not he does a feint or the real ghost. If he does a feint, the only way he can anti-air was with forward heavy kick, and then we're back to the same scenario. If you jump when he does ghost, and it was a feint, he'll have to anti-air you with forward heavy kick, at which point you can again just fake him out with you can beat him with the late dive kick, etc. So, or if you're too far away, if you jump from like here, you can just forward jump and there's like nothing he can do to cover it. He's just too far away. So, again, like the tools that he is forced to use to cover your approach options during certain actions of your zoning, he has options, but you also have counterplay options against those. So especially if you're like right here, jump, dive kick is a serious problem for him at that point, because it blows up his anti-airs at that range, and it will tag him and stuff. One thing that you can do from back here is, if you forward jump over a ghosty like this, and he tries to cover it with spike, you can react to it and then DI. So next, like, zony thing about him. One thing is, when he has portal, if he does ghost, real ghost, you can forward jump when it's about like halfway coverage like that, and the fastest that he can immediately release spike if it's not going to naturally detonate is about there. So if he does ghost into, or if he does window into ghost, you can jump and then still block this, and he can't anti-air this unless he does the fake and then deliberately, and then we're back to the same situation where you can just dive kick his forward heavy kick anti-air. You can also, at certain distances, do a late instant air shallow dive kick and then still land and block the fastest that he can detonate his window. That being said, that's nicher and its value is somewhat limited. I feel like that's unnecessary, but it is an option Cammy has to do faster, shallower jumps. The next thing is that when JP sets up a window just in neutral like this, the thing that he will do, the JP strategy that he will do to, if, like, lots of players, when they see window, they immediately try to rush down. They, like, take the frame advantage of him recovering from the window and try to rush down, like, right away. So they dash, drive rush, jump. What he will do almost always to shut that down is snap as soon as possible. Just immediate snap. So if you see the window, and then you dash, or whatever, like there, snap will catch you. And it'll catch your drive rush if you're quite far away. Depending on your jump arc, you can get over it, but it hits quite high against a lot of characters. One thing that Cammy has access to is she again has counterplay to this, where she can drive rush into spin knuckle. So again, this is the primary way that JP is going to stop forward movement after after he sets up window. Is immediate snap. Next we have... What did I put next? Oh, right. Spike, covered spike, yeah. It's just like, whatever, like... This is like the most chip damage you'll take at a certain time from your drive gauge damage if you're not going to parry because you're worried about the teleport. And that's like the coverage there, so that's like once you block this, you are kind of locked down for this. Personally, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything you can super safely do. Oh, that's right. Another thing that you can do, I forgot about this. Another thing that you can do to deal with window into immediate snap is Cammy's fastest way of covering horizontal. This full screen range is something that happens a lot against JP because all of his knockdowns knock you to like full screen. And there's like tools that you have that are better for you in this range than they are in like necessarily this range, because he can't anti-air you if you jump from this far away, so it's more convenient in some ways. Being further away from a zoning character is sometimes better, because if you think about a zoning character as just like a normal footsies character, only their limbs are like Dhalsim range, and you say, okay, well, if I stay out of his effective range, then he loses his power. Full screen can sometimes be better against a zoning character than even being a little closer like here. But one thing that you have access to is that. If you react to him putting up the thing, this is forward movement that he cannot... This is the fastest forward movement you can possibly do. You can't do, like, that or anything. That'll get checked, but... That is the fastest she will move forwards, other than the EX version. And it clears space super fast. So it will go over any ghosties. It'll probably make him miss space any spikes that he does. As soon as he sets up window, you can force him to guess. You can just get in with a dive kick. This underrated tool in this matchup especially. Also, I keep messing up the input. It goes into level 2, and you get a conversion off of it, if you have level 2. That's an option. Nobody ever uses this, but it does exist. So, yeah. And I don't think I had another thing set up for this. I have another setup. Oh, right. I wanted to talk about this. So this is like the case for most characters, but the best, most reliable way to deal with window teleport is jump back light kick, or jump back whatever their cross-up button. If you do neutral jump, if you're past him and you do neutral jump, he'll like switch sides with you. If you do back jump light kick, so this is neutral jump light kick. You can do it much later than that. You can see him do the swirly, then do that. That's against his fastest jump button option, so there's nothing he can do. But if you do back jump light kick, it looks identical. It looks like you're neutral jumping, because she's not moving backwards, but that is actually a back jump. If you do it too late, it'll register him as being the switch side, but if you back jump like that, he will go underneath you and then stay on the same side. That's pretty consistent for most characters with a cross-up light kick. So, yeah. Yep. EX window gets a bit more complicated. So here, the thing about EX window is that the portal closer to him explodes quite quickly. Whichever portal is closer to him will explode first, which means that if he's going to do a portal covered by a spike, it has to be... he has to teleport from the second portal, okay? Because there's no way for him to teleport from the first portal while the second one is spiking naturally, because the first one just spikes so much sooner. He can't wait that long. If you waited that long, the first portal will be gone by then. So he can only do that, like, safe teleport from the secondary portal, which means if you stay out of range of the first portal, you can just stay there, and then he can't teleport because you can just anti-air him. If he were to teleport from, like, let's say the first portal like this, and then get covered by the spike afterwards, you can just hit him. You can just hit him at the latest he can possibly do this. You can just hit him. Now, another thing that you could do, theoretically, is you can jump it around that timing. And he can cover this with other options, like his spikes and stuff. But if you jump it like this, not that timing, but like if you jump it like this timing, let's say you were sitting here and you don't want to get him, let's say he were to teleport after the fact. I don't know if I have a recording for this here. Okay, let me get a recording for this. Too early. Like that. So let's say he were to teleport after the fact. When the things are getting closer to spiking, you can just jump back like this, and then you can just hit him if he were to teleport from the secondary portal. Meanwhile, he can't teleport from the first portal while you're here because you can just anti-air him immediately. So if you just wait for the proper timing and then jump back, you will be able to avoid both spikes if he doesn't do it, like that. Now, again, he can still anti-air you with a far spike if he waited for this, but his conversion is going to be quite weak off of that. So you can be sitting in front of this and then jump back around here. No, I'm getting the timing wrong. I keep not played a lot of JP in real matches. And then, yeah, you can do stuff like that. And then you can avoid the first spike and still just hit him out of the air like that. So all of those are relative options. And one thing that's easier about him doing EX thing is that it's safer to parry because you know that one of the spikes is going to go off at least. So one of the spikes is going to hit your parry at least. So it's a bit safer. You don't have to worry about him teleporting into throw in that regard. But yeah, just understand that he's primarily going to teleport from his second portal if he wants it to be covered by the first spike. Especially if he's cornered, he wants to teleport in a way that will get him out of the corner. If you are underneath him to such a degree that, if you're like underneath his far back portal, especially if you're out of range of the first portal spike, you can jump at a time, or even if you are in the range of the first portal spike, as I just demonstrated, even if you're in the range of the first portal spike, you can still cover the back portal with a precise time jump like that, back jump or neutral jump or whatever. So that's how you can avoid him. You can still be kind of close to him, but still, like, cover his corner escape attempts. So that is all stuff I would consider.